You know what's wild? Right now, millions of Americans are making decisions that directly contradict what they actually want. They're working jobs they hate to buy things they don't need. They're checking their phones 352 times a day on average. They're spending money they haven't earned yet on experiences they'll forget about next month. But here's the thing, it's not stupidity, it's not laziness. It's something far more intentional and psychological happening beneath the surface. And the craziest part? Most people have no idea why they're doing any of it. Today, we're unpacking the hidden psychological patterns that literally shape American culture. Not the surface-level stuff you've heard a million times. We're talking about the deep structural reasons why Americans behave the way they do, and what you're probably missing. So let's start with something that might sound obvious but gets misunderstood all the time. Americans don't just buy products, they buy identities. This goes back decades. After World War II, advertising agencies realized something profound. Consumers didn't actually care about the features of a product. They cared about what that product said about them, about who they were or wanted to be. A car wasn't just transportation, it was status, freedom, or rebellion, depending on the brand. A clothing label wasn't fabric and thread, it was a statement about your values, taste, or social position. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't unique to America. What is uniquely American is the intensity of it. Studies show Americans are significantly more likely than people in other developed nations to define themselves through their possessions and consumer choices. We're talking about a 40–50% higher correlation. Why? Because American culture is built on a fundamental premise. The self is something you construct and display, not something you're born into or inherit. Your identity is a project. The psychological impact? Constant self-doubt mixed with constant striving. You're never fully the person you're trying to be, so you keep buying, upgrading, and rebranding yourself. It creates what psychologists call identity cycling, this perpetual state of reinvention.
But it goes deeper than that. Americans are obsessed with choice, and I mean obsessed. Walk into an American grocery store and count the varieties of cereal. There are literally 300+ options. In some European countries, you might find 15. Same store layout, same customer base, but the American consumer expects infinite options. Here's where the psychology gets dark. More choice doesn't make people happier. Research from Columbia University shows that too many options actually paralyzes decision-making and decreases satisfaction. People experience something called choice regret, wondering if they picked the wrong thing. But Americans don't just accept this, we lean into it. We've built an entire economic system around it. We brag about it. Land of the free, right? The psychological payoff isn't actually the choices themselves. It's the illusion of control. The belief that you can customize your life to be perfectly suited to your exact preferences. It's deeply seductive. And when that doesn't work, when you're still not happy despite infinite options, you blame yourself, not the system. Another uniquely American psychological move.
Now, here's something that will sound familiar if you've spent any time on social media or in American work culture. The hustle culture narrative. Work yourself to exhaustion because it means you care, you're ambitious, you're better. But the psychology here is more complicated than just Americans work too much. That's been true for decades and it's not new. What's different now is that exhaustion has become a status symbol. People wear their sleeplessness like a badge. They brag about 6 a.m. workouts before jobs that start at 8 a.m. They leave their email on during vacations. And the cultural messaging is clear. If you're not tired, you're not trying hard enough. The psychological mechanism? It's about control and meaning. If you're grinding constantly, you don't have time to question whether your life is meaningful. Work becomes the answer to the existential question of, why am I here? You're building something, you're productive, therefore you matter. The catch? Research consistently shows this actually decreases long-term productivity, health, and life satisfaction. But the belief persists because it serves a deeper psychological need, the need for certainty in an uncertain world. So, here's what you're actually looking at. American behavior isn't random. It's the product of specific psychological forces, identity construction, the mythology of choice, the spiritualization of work. Once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. The question isn't whether you're affected by these forces. You are. The question is whether you're aware of it. If you want to understand culture, psychology, and the hidden patterns that shape human behavior, hit that subscribe button. We break down the things most people miss every single week.